So I guess before I actually start making my podcast videos, I should probably do like an introduction, get to know me, whatever. So here's that. So I will be calling the podcast From Barn Talks to Breakthroughs. Obviously. Anyways, I am Madison Green, owner of Freeway Charlie Performance Horses in Jamesville, New York. I specialize in the training of quarter horses and Arabians. But have a background in multiple different breeds. I started training horses back in 2018. My first training horse actually came to me in 2017, but I did not publicly start posting about training horses until 2018. My very first horse was a 16 3-hand quarter horse gelding named Freeway Charlie, who my business is proudly named after. And my first Arabian is also named after him, FC Going Solo, FC standing for Freeway Charlie. I've been riding since before I could walk. Grew up in the quarter horse industry with Western Pleasure and Hunter saddle horses. Later switched over to the ranch riding with the quarter horses, as well as doing some of the Gincana stuff. I then started jumping and riding saddle seat as well. And then later on, got the opportunity to show a half Arab named JB Hot Wheels, and that is when the Arabian kicked off, literally. FC Going Solo was surrendered to me in 2019. And then later on in 2024, I had Came in a Fire, aka Blaze, surrendered to me. In early 2005, I had PA Capella surrendered to me, aka Ella. I have since sold her. And then just recently, Baccaria CA, aka Aria, was just surrendered to me as well. I am not a firm believer as a trainer in purchasing horses, especially my personal horses. All of my horses have been surrendered, given up, quote unquote, purchased for free, given to whatever you want to call it. And I strongly believe in giving horses second chances. So I guess let's kind of talk about what I do in my program. So I come from a very open background in the horse industry where, like, we believe in the genetics, we deep dive into certain things, but most of all, we like underdogs, or at least I like underdogs. When I was younger, the first time I ever showed at the World Show, my horse was 22 or 23 years old at the time that we showed him, probably one of the oldest horses there. We came home with a top 5 and a top 10 in the Walk Trot Western Pleasure and the Walk Trot Hunter saddle. And then he was retired, and after that, I started showing just locally with some training horses, with some personal horses that I had retrained that were my mom's. And then finally getting my first arrow. The reason I want to start these podcasts is because I want to bring awareness to a lot of different details and facts and information and stuff like that. My biggest thing is genetics. I love talking about genetics. It's like the one thing that boils my blood, I guess. I've had multiple quarter horses in my barn that are all related, that all have some type of genetical issue, or we believe they have some type of genetical issue, or they did have some type of genetical issue. And then I've also kind of come across the same situation with the Arabs. So I want to do a huge deep dive into genetics, bring other people in, bring professionals in, whatever, and deep dive into genetics. But instead of just also talking just strictly about genetics, I want to have some fun with it, obviously. I plan to do some podcasts with friends and just kind of like, have fun. Probably some shit talking. That's what I'm good at. And then obviously I'm trying to keep it educational as well, but also fun. Anyways, I will introduce you to all my children, and here we go. So this first horse is Freeway Charlie. I got him when I was about 10 years old. He was the first purchase, and actually the only purchase I've ever got. I bought Charlie for $1. I'll do a story probably on Charlie and all of my horses later on in the future. But anyways, he's the horse that started it all. He named my business, and he kind of just fuels my fire. This is FC Elmerly World, aka King. He was left here as a 13-year-old stallion. Was not very touched when I got him, was quite feral actually. Taught him how to do in-hand trail, showmanship, halter, and driving, all in under a year, and he's living out his best life here. FC Going Solo, aka Solo. Honestly, this horse needs no introduction. Literally the best horse I've ever owned and will probably ever own. But again, like I said, I will be doing videos separately on all of them later on. Cayman of Fire, aka Blaze. He is now actually owned by my mom, but he was another surrender that I took from crazy to tame, and he also will be getting his own story. They all will be getting their own story. PA Capella, aka Ella. I really truly did love this mare. I sadly did have to let her go because it was not fair to her to be with me when me and her just didn't click. So she went to a very lovely home, and I'm very excited for her future with them. This is Bakaria CA, aka Aria. She just recently joined, and to be honest, if I do training videos, she's going to be the test dummy. I'm so excited for her future though. So that is all of my crazy kids. That is the introduction. Honestly, because this is a podcast, if we want to ever do a Q&A, leave questions on any of these. I don't care. It does not bother me. I will answer them and I will write them all down for like a Q&A type podcast or something like that. But I hope you subscribe and enjoy.